17th of March, Paddy's Day, and it's probably the quietest Paddy's Day I've ever seen, except for cyclists on the road in their threes and in their fours. I've seen 3 abreast, 4 abreast today, so much for social distancing. Cyclists, if any one of them cyclists I've seen today have the coronavirus, they are breathing that out on their 40-50k cycle in the air particles, which is fantastic. So interesting. A lot of people are taking the time to do a lot of recreational stuff as well out on the streets. So it's just a case of be smart, be careful, I think. But let's see what happens over the coming week. It's only been, what are we now, Tuesday? It's only been 5 days. So let's see what they're like after 3 weeks of being stuck indoors, not going to work, etc. But yeah, we will continue to plough on. Obviously our business now is closed, unfortunately, but we will bounce back when able. I thought a year ago that I had this conversation with a couple of people that we're likely to have a global downturn again. The last global downturn was 2008. Obviously took a significant amount of time to come out of that downturn due to the amount of debt. This is a strange downturn. This is gonna, if everything shuts for a month, you're looking at a minimum squeeze of 12%. I reckon at the moment we're easily looking at a 20-25% decrease in the global economy. I'm not an economist, but I know a little bit about business to be able to understand what's going on. The Chinese markets, fresh from a very good source today, are back open and manufacturing. They're back up to full production, and it will be May by the time a lot of stock is kind of able to be delivered on containers. Bear in mind, it takes 4 weeks for something to come across from China. So if it was shipped in 2 weeks' time, it's still the beginning of May by the time it hits. So there'll be a continued shrinkage in the global markets at that point. I see there's still a little bit of building going on, so obviously builders are still out there, still trying to get houses. I've seen a lot of stuff at the moment about the banks helping people out that have mortgages, helping people out with interest only. What I would say from the years of experience that I've had in interest only, be very, very careful with taking interest only, because it doesn't extend your term of your mortgage. All you're paying is the interest. It heaps the capital that's not being paid off at a later date, and it will increase your payments when you're back to normal. So just be careful of that. Do you really need to drop your payments? If you're getting full wages, and you're working and you're at home, then there's absolutely no reason to take interest only on your mortgage. Keep it as it is. Pay your mortgage, pay your bills. You'll probably be up money because you won't have the expense of travel and lunches and different bits and pieces. So be very, very careful, those that are looking at the interest only option. For businesses out there, I think is where the sole traders, limited companies, people that are employing people, is where this problem is going to be biggest hit. If they don't have the funds, they can't meet their wages, they can't meet the bills, and they're likely to shut. We're in that very same situation. This is where I think there needs to be a capital fund made available very quickly. If that's a loan, a government loan, then that's fine. I'm sure most businesses would rather take a government loan at whatever percentage and pay it back than the situation that we face where we couldn't get that finance that we needed because didn't have the accounts available that they need to be able to do that. And actually the reality is couldn't get it because with 3 unpaids on an account, which would actually the account was up to date, but due to an error on their system, they can't correct it, which is great. So just be smart. Really think about what. I think it's a good time now for people to take stock, family life, what they do, how much time they put into a business that probably doesn't give a shit about them. Now's a good time for them to take stock of where they're at and what they do going forward. Hopefully, it's great to see all of the kind of the pluses, the people reaching out to help community, people reaching out to help the elderly, help the sick. This is brilliant. It's fantastic to see. But where is that for the other 12 months or other 11 months of the year, 11 and a half months of the year? Everybody's doing it now, but where's that before now? So out of this, may that be something that comes forward, that people will actually now start to think of these vulnerable groups and do more going forward, as against only when there's a virus or when there's a problem that we suddenly decide to change our ways. Thankfully, it seems to be the panic buying has stopped, which is great. A bit of normality has resumed, and I still can't understand why people are rushing out buying fruit and veg when everything goes off. Buy your tins, buy your packaged foods. Mightn't have the healthiest of diets over the next couple of weeks, maybe scale back, but be smart in what you do buy. Don't buy bulk, buy smart. I think it's the way it should be. So it's the office now, a couple of hours work to do. As I said, just more mental to be gone out to work, to do something, to try and do something to keep the brain busy. There's no work to be done as such in terms of what we do. It's everything is, as I said, is shut, closed, finito, sadly. But out of I like the symbolism of the phoenix. Out of the ashes come the phoenix. So out of these problems, may good come from it, and may good from a personal perspective with people, that they might take positives from this situation, and may businesses equally take stock of where they're at and what they need to do. So we will bounce back. That is the way to be. Just keep plowing on. So be safe, and we will all keep updated soon.